Welcome everyone to call this meeting to order. Today is the 17th of July. This is the Finance Administration Committee and a special meeting of the Board of Directors of the West Bay Municipal Water District. If we could do a roll call, please. General Manager E.J. Caldwell.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Director Harold Williams.
Here.
Chairman Scott Houston.
Here.
Director Gloria Gray.
Here.
Director Don Deere.
Here.
Director Desi Alvarez. Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any members of the public wishing to address the board?
Staff has not received any requests for public comment prior to today's meeting, though this meeting is being held both in person and virtually. If there's any member of the public that would like to make public comment, please let us know by indicating your virtual or raising your virtual hand. Mr. Chairman, I do not see a request for public comment.
Good. Presentations. We have no presentations today. Action calendar. So item 5A, approval of minutes. EJ.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this item 5A will be presented by Desiree Quintero, our Manager of Administration. It begins on packet page 4.
Good morning, members of the committee and board. The following minutes are being brought for the board's consideration. The June 7th, 2024 special board meeting minutes for budget workshop number 5, which can be found beginning on packet page 6, and the June 24th, 2024 regular board meeting minutes, which can be found beginning on packet page 8. The minutes for the West Basin Municipal Water District Board of Directors meetings are an integral part of the public meeting process. Minutes provide a history of the actions taken at board meetings, which is informative not only for members of the public, but for other stakeholders as well. With that, I will read the recommendation. The recommendation is that the board approve the June 7th, 2024 special board meeting minutes and the June 24th, 2024 regular board meeting minutes.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Desiree. Any questions, Director Williams?
No, thank you.
Any other director have questions? Okay, so hearing none, I would recommend these go forward for approval by the board.
I concur.
Thank you. Okay, now we have a slew of items here. 5B as in boy, consider sponsorship of fiscal year 24-25 community outreach events. EJ.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, item 5B does have a number of items included in there. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. It does begin on packet page 14. And for this presentation, we have Hazel Vasquez, our Deputy Board Secretary, too.
Good morning, Chairman Houston, members of the committee and board. If I can turn your attention to packet page 14, where this item begins. As both EJ and Director Houston mentioned, there are quite a few items on here to go over. So if at any point you have any questions, feel free to stop me, but I will try to get them through this fairly quickly. So the first item that I have for your consideration today is for the El Segundo Rotary Club's Movie in the Park. They are hosting this event on Saturday, August 3rd, 2024, and this year they are featuring the movie Elemental. Director Houston is requesting consideration for West Basin to sponsor this event in the amount of $500, which would grant West Basin a district booth/table to distribute district information. We have sponsored this event previously, most recently in fiscal year 23-24, in the same amount of $500, and at the time we got a booth for that sponsorship. Additional information regarding this sponsorship can be found on packet page 18 as attachment A. The next item that I have for you is the Culver City Arts Foundation. They are hosting their Summer Sunset Music Series that will be running every Thursday from July 11th to August 29th, 2024. Director Houston is requesting consideration for West Basin to sponsor the Summer Sunset Music Series, and this would be beginning with the performance on August 8th, 2024, in order to adhere to the 10 business day in advance portion of the policy. And he is requesting a sponsorship in the amount of $1,000, which would grant West Basin a speaking opportunity for a district representative, a booth/table to distribute district information, as well as an advertisement promoting district awareness. We did sponsor this event most recently in fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $2,500. And at the time that gave us a speaking opportunity, booth, and advertisement. Additional information regarding this sponsorship can be found in attachment B, and that begins on packet page 22. Okay, third item for you today, the South Coast Botanic Garden is hosting its series beginning every Thursday from June 20th to August 29th. And I'm sorry, every Thursday beginning June 20th through August 29th. Director Williams is requesting consideration for West Basin to sponsor the Sunset Series concert that will be held on Thursday, August 15th in the amount of $2,500. And that would grant West Basin a booth/table to distribute district information. Of note, we have not previously sponsored this event, but as you may recall, we have done other things with the South Coast Botanic Garden. Their our most recent one was their Glow event in 2022. So for additional information regarding this particular sponsorship request, you can turn to attachment C on packet page 27. The next item for you today is the El Segundo Chamber of Commerce State Fair Annual 8th Street Car Show event on Saturday, August 17th, 2024. Director Houston would like the board to consider sponsorship in the amount of $600, and that would grant West Basin a speaking opportunity for a district representative, a booth/table to distribute district information, as well as an advertisement promoting district awareness. We did sponsor this event most recently in fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $1,000. And at that time, we received all three benefits as well: speaking opportunity, booth, and advertisement. Additional information regarding this event is included as a, and you can find that on packet page 45. The next event for your consideration is the Boys and Girls Club of Malibu is hosting its Malibu Chili Cook-Off on Friday, August 30th through Monday, September 2nd, and that's Labor Day weekend, just for reference. Director Houston is requesting that the board consider a sponsorship of $1,000, and that would grant West Basin an advertisement promoting district awareness. We have not previously sponsored this event, though we have worked with the Boys and Girls Club of Malibu for, I believe it was the Rain Barrel event for Division 4. Additional information regarding this sponsorship request is included as attachment E, and you can find that on packet page 49. Almost done, just two more. Second to last item, El Segundo Kiwanis Club is hosting the annual Main Street Fair in El Segundo on Saturday, September 28th. Director Houston is requesting that the board consider a sponsorship of $500 that would grant West Basin a booth/table to distribute district information, as well as an advertisement promoting district awareness. We sponsored this event in this last fiscal year, 23-24, in the amount of $1,000, and that provided the opportunity for a speaking op, a booth, and an advertisement. Information regarding this year's request is included as attachment F, beginning on packet page 71. And the last one for your consideration today is the Hawthorne Chamber of Commerce's 10th annual golf tournament that they are hosting on Monday, September 30th, 2024. Director Gray has requested consideration for West Basin to sponsor this event in the amount of $3,000, and that would grant West Basin a speaking opportunity for a district representative, a booth/table to distribute district information, as well as an advertisement promoting district awareness. This event was also sponsored by West Basin in fiscal year 23-24 in the amount of $2,500. And at that time, we received a booth and an advertisement. Information regarding this particular sponsorship request is included as attachment G, and you can find that on packet page 76. So with the new fiscal year, the budget has been reset. We have some items that have already been approved. So approving the request before you today that total $9,100 would leave a remaining budget of $60,400. And you can see the details for that on packet page 81, which is attachment H. So with that, I'd be happy to read the recommendation. And you can find that on packet page 16 or on the agenda. So the recommendation, number one, Director Houston recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of the El Segundo Rotary Club's Movie in the Park event, scheduled to be held on Saturday, August 3rd, 2024, in the amount of $500. Number two, Director Houston recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of the Culver City Arts Foundation's Summer Sunset Music Series event, beginning with the performance scheduled to be held on Thursday, August 8th, 2024, in the amount of $1,000. Number 3, Director Williams recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of the South Coast Botanic Garden Sunset Series event scheduled to be held on Thursday, August 15th, 2024, in the amount of $2,500. Number 4, Director Houston recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of the El Segundo Chamber of Commerce's Main Street Car Show event that's scheduled to be held on Saturday, August 17th, 2024, in the amount of $600. Number 5, Director Houston recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of the Boys and Girls Club of Malibu's Chili Cook-Off event scheduled to be held from Friday, August 30th through Monday, September 2nd, in the amount of $1,000. Number 6, Director Houston recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of the El Segundo Kiwanis Club's Main Street Fair event scheduled to be held on Saturday, September 28th, in the amount of $500. And last but not least, Director Gray recommends that the board consider approving sponsorship of the Hawthorne Chamber of Commerce's 10th annual golf tournament event scheduled to be held on Monday, September 30th, 2024, in the amount of $3,000. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Haza. So any questions, board members? Director Williams, I'll start with you.
Okay, to the general manager, got a lot going on here. We have a budget for this?
We do have budget for this. We do anticipate having a number of events throughout the entire fiscal year. I think that there's ample budget to get us through that fiscal year. It's just that I think the start of the new fiscal year, you're seeing a flood of items come at this early stage.
Okay. Well, with that, I would recommend sending this forward to the board.
Great.
All of it.
All of it. Okay. With a yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Any other questions? Director Deere? Director Gray? And I don't have any questions. I just want to note on that Culver City Arts Foundation Summer Series Music, Summer Sunset Music Series, if it does get approved by the board, but staff really only needs to look potentially at one evening having a booth, just FYI. No one expects the staff to have a booth there every Thursday night. They'll help with other advertisements, but just you all can work with them on what night makes sense for whoever's available to staff a booth. Okay, if that goes. Director Gray.
Chair. Yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I couldn't. I had you on mute, sorry. Thank you. I know the one request I have, I believe, we did not sponsor them last year, I believe. I think it's been a few years, but we have in the past, and I appreciate the committee considering the request for sponsorship. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Director Gray. I do remember we have in the past. As a matter of fact, we did it last year, right, Haza?
Fiscal year 23-24, and that was for $2,500.
Yes. Good. Yeah, most of these are repeats. And myself too, I'm really being judicious on the amounts, when people come inquiring. So with that, I concur with Director Williams that this should move forward with a yes to the full board. EJ? And thank you, staff. I know it's a lot of work. Also, it's the summertime going into fall. So now the organizations are ramping up and we have our deadlines. So we appreciate you all pushing these through as they come in. Okay. Let me see. Hold on one second. My papers are jumbled. So just give me a second. Here we go. Okay. Item 5C, as in cat, consider fiscal year 24-25 district sponsorship request. We have items 1 through 4, but I am going to pull item 3 off. We're going to table that, EJ, so staff can perform some more research on that before it comes before the committee or the board. Okay.
Happy to do that. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
We'll just be looking at 1, 2, and 4.
Correct. And for this presentation, we do have Hazel Vasquez, our Deputy Board Secretary, too.
EJ, hello again. If I can turn your attention to packet page 82, where this item begins. We do have 3 remaining items here for your consideration for district sponsorships. The first one is for the Urban Water Institute's annual water conference. We received a request to sponsor this event that is being held from August 21st to the 23rd in San Diego. As you can see On packet page 82, the various sponsorship levels are listed there, and for more information on those, you can turn to attachment A on packet page 85. Now, we have sponsored this event, this conference in previous years, most recently in 2023 at the silver level, dollars or was $3,000 at the time. Details regarding sponsorship tiers, as I mentioned, are included in attachment A. And we also wanted to point out that beginning in 2025, Urban Water Institute is transitioning their sponsorship to annual sponsorship packages instead of doing separate sponsorship packages for their spring and fall annual water conference. So we may see some changes going forward on how we present those if and when we receive those requests. The next item that I have for your consideration is the 2024 Water Reuse California Annual Conference. We received a request to sponsor this conference that is taking place September 15th through the 17th at the Hyatt Regency in Garden Grove. On packet page 82, you'll see the various sponsorship levels listed there for your consideration. And to view the benefits associated, you can turn your attention to packet page 91, which is attachment B. West Basin has most recently sponsored this event in 2022 and 2023 at the purple and silver levels respectively. And then the next item, skipping over the LED item, is the 2024 Water Reuse Industrial Reuse Conference. West Basin received a request from the Water Reuse Association to sponsor the 2024 Industrial Reuse Conference that's being held in November from the 19th through the 21st in Indian Well. Now, this is a newer conference. You may note that we haven't brought this one forward. The way that they explained it, it was a conference that they held about a decade ago. And they are now bringing it back. So we will start seeing this more going forward. So this year they do have a few sponsorship opportunities listed at the bottom of packet page 83. And if you want to see the benefits associated with that, you can turn your attention to packet page 104, which is attachment D. And so at this time, these are the first of the district sponsorships that we bring forward for your consideration. So the budget is still a solid $55,000. So depending on what the committee recommends today, then we will provide an updated budget balance for the board meeting on Monday. But with that, I'd like to read the recommendation. That the board consider approving sponsorship of 1, the Urban Water Institute Annual Water Conference to be held August 21st to the 23rd at the Paradise Point Resort in San Diego, California. 2, the 2024 Water Reuse California Annual Conference to be held September 15th to the 17th at the Hyatt Regency Orange County in Garden Grove, California. 4, the 2024 Water Reuse Industrial Reuse Conference to be held November 19th through the 21st at the Hyatt Regency Resort in Indian Wells, California. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, thank you, Hazel. So on this one, the committee has to talk about it a bit and decide what we think we should do, Director Williams. Do you have any thoughts at the moment?
Yeah, I think we should sponsor all of them. I think going to these conferences way back in the day when I was a little kid. And matter of fact, Director Alvarez introduced me to one, Urban Water. But anyway, yeah, I would support them if we have money to do it. They've always been beneficial, and I see no reason to stop.
Any other board member comments, questions?
Yeah,
Director Deere?
Mr. Chair. Oh,
Director Gray, go ahead.
yes. Is this budgeted already in our budget? I know we had a number of organizations that we were supporting through our, I guess, general fund, or is this not one of them?
let EJ answer that one.
Director Gray, what we've done is we've incorporated into our budget a set defined amount of funds. I believe Hazel said that's approximately 55,000. And that's based off of our historic averages of what we've been able to do in the past. At the direction of the board, I think 3 years ago, the idea was to not, within our budget, adopt specific dollar amounts for each sponsorship to give flexibility to the agency as far as when and where they want to sponsor events. So we do have the total amount, and we do try to highlight what we've done in the past. The one deviation from that, and I'll highlight that for you, is that typically West Basin has always sponsored the water reuse events. And in this case, they have a newer event, and that is item 4. And so if you'd like, we can go back and look at what we typically sponsor with. I believe that's $6,000 roughly to water reuse between the 2 events.
This last fiscal year was a little higher. We did the symposium. I believe it was 7,500 for that. I can double check the amounts, but
So yeah, if we wanted to look at keeping it around the same amount, what we could do is go back prior to the board meeting and look to see maybe how we apportion that $7,500 between 3 events rather than 2. So adding that 3rd event is something that's a little bit unusual. But Director Gray, all of these 3, for the most part, are organizations that we typically sponsor and events that we typically sponsor.
Yeah, because I know they're traditional events that we've always participated in, so that's why I asked the question. All right, well, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Director Gray. And I'm just looking at all these things right quick. Well, so here's sort of what I think we should do. Because 2 of these we've already sponsored and we did them at a certain level. So we knew what we were getting, and I don't think it's changed a whole lot. So I think on the first one, Urban Water Institute Annual Conference, last year we did $3,000, right? So I think we should just do the $3,000 again. That's, consistent. I see that last year we did the we did the Water Reuse California Annual Conference for $750. I think that seemed good again this year, $750. And that's the one, see that there's so many conferences coming up in the fall. So this is in September. Okay.
click on that.
Yeah.
For the water reuse conference, let me make sure you have that one in here, but
Mhm.
I believe the 750 was in 2022. And in 2023, we did 3,000.
Oh, we did do 3,000 last year? Was that probably because we got a registration or something like
I
that?
believe that in the discussions, that did play a part.
Let's see. So wait a minute. So last year we did 3,000. That's what you're saying? Okay. Well, then I would just recommend we just stay the same. So 3,000. Because Water Reuse California is an excellent organization. And plus with that, you get at least 1 complimentary registration. So I know somebody from staff or a director will likely attend that anyway. And this one's in Garden Grove, so it's close. Okay, so I'm just trying to streamline it a little bit. Obviously the board can pull this to the meeting and decide whatever they really want to do. But on item 4, and this one's so Water Reuse Industrial Reuse Conference. It's something you mentioned they haven't done in a long time, this particular thing. And so I was looking at the sponsorships. The lowest one is $2,500. It includes a complimentary registration and really not a lot extra, does it? Just an attendee list after you leave. Am I reading this right? On the $2,500 sponsorship for the Water Reuse Industrial. And maybe it has something else for $2,500. But that's the lowest one, right? Although I do see in this, there's also a table topics sponsorship for $2,000. You could submit a roundtable topic. I guess that's separate sponsorship package. Oh, look. Includes one registration and post. Interesting. So is that on top of the?
For the table topic,
Uh-huh.
yeah, so that would be essentially a separate sponsorship.
Okay.
So we could do either or, the $2,000 table topic sponsorship, based on the information they have there, or the 2,500. I guess we could do both, but then it would come up to the 4,500.
That wouldn't, no.
Which one would be the most beneficial?
I think if you attend these conferences and you're very engaged, the sponsorship of the conference typically provides a little bit more exposure, whereas this is going to be a very singular event at the conference.
Okay. So you're saying the $2,500 sounds better? You
Just broader coverage as far as,
So here's my only other thought on all this. I mean, I'm assuming this is early and I really didn't know about this one. Is someone from our staff gonna go? I mean, they should.
yeah. When it comes to industrial water reuse, that's the majority of West Basin's usage with our refineries and others as well. So
Although on the other hand, because this table topic sponsor, it is, yes, it's $500 less, but we still get apparently one registration included. And somebody can lead a conversation at this particular part of the event. Right?
it looks that way.
Quite honestly, I think that's the one we should go for. $2,000 table topics sponsorship. You still get visibility. You get a registration. And whomever is going out there, you can work with them to be a leader at a tabletop discussion. You know how they have those breakout sessions? Pretty cool. So
No,
that would be my recommendation. What do you think, Director Williams? $500 less too, but you still get you get a little bit more for it. And, you know, okay, so let's do that. We'll recommend the $2,000 table topics sponsorship. So you have all the recommendations now, right, from the committee, and I think Director Williams, you concur, right?
Concur.
Love it. And then the only other thing, assuming we do pass this at the board, that looks like an interesting one. I have no clue if I can go out there, but I certainly hope more than one probably of our staff will go out to that conference. I'm assuming, EJ, because that one looks like, you know, something that's really in our wheelhouse.
Agreed.
But I see that then there's like a couple more in the fall season, you know, between aqua, crua, water reuse, you know, blah, blah, blah. So there's a whole bunch of them. So anyway, let's keep up with. Okay, well, we've heard from the committee and Director Williams and I both concur. So we'll move that forward to the board. EJ, and those can be just on the consent, right? Unless someone wants to pull it, they can be on the consent and the item before. Excellent. Okay, so now we can get into probably some things that are a little more beefy for the agency. Item 5D is in dog, select candidate for California Special Districts Association Board of Directors election for Southern Network seat for the 2024-20 through 26 term. EJ, let us know what that is about.
Yes, happy to do so, Mr. Chairman. Item 5D does begin on packet page 111. And as noted in there, the California Special Districts Association has notified West Basin Municipal Water District that as a special district, we are available to vote or able to vote in this upcoming election. It's worth noting that CSDA is governed by an 18-member board of directors elected through ballots. The board consists of 3 directors from each of 6 networks. And West Basin Municipal Water District is a part of the Southern Network. We have received some related materials to the 3 potential candidates. You can see there in the memo, it is Mr. Jason Deathborn from the Valley Sanitary District. You can see that Joe McKenzie from the Vista Irrigation District, and then Ross A. Leha from Grupa Area Recreation Park District are included there. And they have dedicated one person from West Basin to cast that ballot, and that is myself, the general manager. It's an electronic ballot, which I've already received. And so we did bring this item as an action item for your direction. However, there is a lot of information in here, including their materials. And I do recognize that each director may want to go through those and kind of look and see what it is they're doing. I would accept some direction from all of you as to whether you wanted us to contact the potential candidates and have them attend the board meeting, or if you'd just like to move this to the full board without a recommendation. And then that allows the directors, not just that are here today, but maybe that are not here today, to vet the candidates and come in with a recommendation at the board. We do have enough time for the board to give an action at that board meeting and for me to still have time to cast that ballot. And again, it's electronic, so it's easy 1, 2, 3. So I recognize that the committee today and board members that are in attendance may not be able to kind of do it justice by making the decision before we have a full board. So we may want to defer this to the full board.
Director Williams.
Yeah, I like that idea because, to the full board, because, I don't know anything about any of the candidates. So yeah, that would be work for me.
Yeah, one, I would concur. I really haven't even had time to read this or look at it. I think we should just put it on the agenda for the full board to talk about. I see that one of the folks in here, Joe McKenzie, she's the current incumbent, it says, and she says, so she apparently has been doing this already. And did you say anybody actually reached out to us or no?
Did receive some written materials from, I believe, 2 of the candidates. However, within the ballot itself, we are able to get the information for all 3. So it goes out with ballots, but we did receive some. They just sent it directly to the special districts.
So I think what I would like to do, and Director Williams basically already said it, yeah, let's push this to the full board to decide, and maybe in the interim, EJ, what you could do is, of course, each of the board members can talk to you offline about this, especially anyone who's not here, for any thoughts. Personally, if any of them wants to at our board meeting, I think that's fine. Are they required to? Probably not, but you might want to, I think you probably have concurrence from all of us. If they want to come to the board meeting or it's online, they can say a few words when that item comes up or what have you, EJ, right?
Correct.
And other than that, I don't think we really have a lot of information to make a decision right now. And you're still within the deadline.
Yes, and so we'll defer this to the full board without a recommendation from the committee.
Great. Sounds good, Director Williams?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So, appreciate that. Okay. So 5E, as in Edward. Oh, not there yet. Hold on. Award lease agreement, multi-function printers. EJ.
Yes, and Albert is anxious to.
It's
do
very
this information. We are excited to bring this item before you. Item 5E, it does begin on packet page 119. And for this presentation, we do have Albert Plimpton, our Senior Information Technology.
Again, as mentioned, this is for the multi-factor printers that are used daily by staff and part of the day-to-day operation of the district. We currently have an agreement with Sharp that was initiated in August 2019 and expired later this year. Prior to bringing this item to the committee, we did research some of the competitors and reached out to Sharp. We determined that the best option would be to continue with Sharp based on 3 factors. The first was the continuity of services moving forward to ensure that there was no change, no interruption to those services. The second was in the agreement that was provided by Sharp, there was significant cost savings, roughly 50% cost savings if we extended to 5 years. And the third was the performance of the vendor itself. We've had no major issues with their hardware and their service. When we have had issues, it's been very good. The new agreement, which would be for 5 years, was negotiated using a cooperative agreement. Again, as mentioned, there's roughly a $90,000 savings over the 5 years, which is roughly 50%. There's a table listed on page 120, package page 120, that goes through the cost of the lease and the price per copy. As part of this agreement, there is a slight increase to the color copy price, but there was a significant, or the same discount was given in the black and white copy cost. We have more black and white copy costs, so we felt that the cost was negligible increase. Unless there's any questions, recommendation.
You can go ahead and read the recommendation.
Recommendation. Authorize the general manager to sign the multi-function printer lease agreement with Wells Fargo Vendor Financial Services for a not to exceed lease amount of $70,251 plus applicable sales tax and a fixed print rate of 0.0055 for black and white prints and a fixed print rate of 0.049 for color print.
Mr. Chairman, if I could add to that. This is one of these areas where I'm very proud of our staff and our team as far as looking at this. As noted in the memo, if you turn, I think, to the last or second to last page, you can see the benefit to West Basin. So printing, scanning, and copying are a part of the day-to-day operations of the district. Whenever we can, we try to print our materials and our documents in-house to reduce costs. Obviously, within the administrative department, printing materials is a day-to-day obligation and chore that we're always working towards. So there's a great deal of information that is kind of coming through our printers. But we did conduct a brief but detailed analysis of our printing. And I wanted to highlight that because typically you see these decisions be brought before you. We budget for them. We budget for these decisions based off of what we have and kind of what we think we need. In doing an analysis, we identified some opportunities for some savings here. And you'll note within the background that in analyzing the different printers that we utilize and the number of prints that each printer is actually producing, we've actually identified some opportunities to reduce the number of printers that we have. And so in this sense, we're reducing the number of large scale printers from 11 to 8 for the West Basin Municipal Water District, which does provide some significant savings, especially if we continue to do this in different areas, because any amount compounds with the others. And so I think in this memo, I think it does note that there will be saving roughly $18,000 through the reduction of the number of printers that we have. And we believe that we can do this without interrupting our normal workflows or inconveniencing staff having to maybe travel a little further for a printer. We think that we can do that. So not only did we analyze the potential for leasing and buying the different options, but in reducing the number of printers we have additional savings. So I wanted to highlight that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let's see, any questions? Director Williams?
No, thank you.
Questions, any other director?
Nice to see the savings like that. It's a very good savings. Appreciate it.
Director Gray?
No, thank you. No, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I have nothing to add. I just was looking where they're at. So 6 are here and 2 at the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility. And I like what I hear from EJ and all the staff, looking to be judicious with the use of printers and what we need to use, and also negotiating with them. So it seems fairly straightforward. I would recommend it goes forward to the board for approval. And Director Williams?
Sure.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you, Albert. You're off the hook right now, aren't you? Yeah, for now. Okay, so item 6 is our information calendar. 6A is the monthly financial report, EJ.
Yes, and thank you for that. This item does begin on packet page 133. For this presentation, we do have Sandra Ruiz, our accountant 2.
Good afternoon, members of the committee and board. I will present JSED agenda number 6A, monthly financial reports. As required by West Basin Administrative Code, staff is required to submit various financial reports to the board to keep them appraised of the financial condition and future needs of the district. If I can ask you to turn to packet page 135, That begins with our demands list, agenda item 6AA. This is for the period ending June 30th, 2024. The demands list concludes on packet page 141. The total amount of disbursements for the month is $17.6 million. You will note that the Metropolitan Water District invoice was $10.3 million, and that accounts for more than half the total spent for the month. Other than that, I didn't have any items of note, but would be happy to answer any questions you may have about the demands.
Okay, very good. Any questions?
No, thank you.
I don't have any questions at this time.
The next item would be a handout, and that would be the West Basin investment, cash and investments reports. So on the first page, this is your cash and investments reports for the period ending June 2024. Total market value for the month is $72.2 million. To the right is a pie graph listing the makeup of the portfolio and the percentages of each investment. The next page is the credit distribution report comparing month to month. And then the final page is the maturity distribution graph as well. I did want to note at this time that we do have our bond payment coming up in July. So that would be for interest and principal.
Yeah, so during the FY25 budget season, or we already told the board next year, the total like our debt payment going to be 20.7 million. And then we normally pay the bond payment twice a year. One is on February 1st, which is we need to make a payment at the end of January. The other one we're going to pay is August 1st, which is the payment need to send out before the end of July. And then the one we are going to send it out is about the $16 million. This is going to be including the interest and the principal. So on next month, when we come into the committee, you can see our total investment, the $72 million are going to be have a big drop. So the cash balance is changing on the daily basis. It depends on how much money we're spending, you know, what is the major revenue we receive the day before. So we'll keep you informed.
Good.
So that concludes the cash and investments portion. I can move on to the next item, which would be water sales.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So that begins on going back to packet page 143, and that would be agenda item 6AC. This is the monthly water sales for the period ending June 30th, 2024. We begin at the top of that, you will see the imported retail. So for June, we had 7,603 acre feet. So that brought our total for the year 83,887. That is a new record low. It is a little bit higher than we had predicted at 83,500. Most of that we are contributing to conservation efforts and increase in groundwater pumping. Just an item of note, total rainfall for fiscal year 24 was 22.21 inches. And then that is the second highest level of rainfall in the last 10 years. So that compiled with conservation and increased ground pumping just saw really record lows in total usage. Second graph below is the imported barrier. For the month of June, it was 1,024, which brought our year to date at 9,932. The second page would be the recycled water. For June, we had 2,308 acre feet of total sales. Year to date was 27,673 acre feet. Below that is a breakdown of June water sales between barrier refineries and disaffected tertiary, and then finding the year-to-date numbers. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions about water sales.
Any questions, Director Williams?
No, thank you.
Any questions? Dear? Any questions, Director Gray?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think I have One's a comment, because that's what I was gonna ask about the number, because I know EJ, you emailed us the number, but that's the final number, 83,887 acre feet for the full fiscal year of last year. We had budgeted 95,000. But all that being said, this is one of the lowest amounts of imported water we've ever bought or ran many, many years.
That is correct. This is the lowest we've ever been. And, you know, if you look at our water demand, your dedication to water use efficiency, despite the fact that we're seeing significantly lower water demand, we're finally at a point where you're starting to see groundwater usage come back up. If you go back a handful of years ago, you know, in the West Coast Basin, people were utilizing a little bit more than 40,000 acre feet, and that dropped to an all-time low of below 20,000. So that's starting to come back up. And so that, if you couple that with water use efficiency, you're seeing an all-time low at West Basin. And this is happening across the industry, I would say, in Southern California.
Okay. And then this last one that we just passed our budget, I believe we budgeted for 80,000, right? Is that what we did?
Yes, right.
Okay, the next one. So we set an extremely conservative goal. Obviously, I don't think it's going to rain as much or snow as much probably this winter, but we did a really conservative number to drive us through the next year. So we'll see how that plays out. But I think it's worth noting. And I know that the district, we talked about it, and I think that we should be talking about it when we're out in the field, et cetera, by how much water we have, you know, basically how much less water we have bought the last 2 years for Metropolitan. And then the other question, and I just want to make sure I understand real quick on the imported barrier. I'm just glancing at it, but let's see, it looks like we used more in imported barrier, right, than was anticipated.
That is correct.
Even in the last month, right?
The input barrier is basically the potable water that we already taking from us.
Right.
So, yeah.
And the reason that is that we're using more imported is why?
A couple of different things. One has been the water quality and our ability to produce. If you look at not only the change out on the microfiltration membranes, but also some RO issues. You know, competing interests. We do work with Chevron. Chevron also pulls water off of that equipment, and so meeting our contractual obligations with the refinery, that's a big piece of it. But also water quality and our ability to produce. So our finest water quality is obviously to the barriers, potable, indirect potable reuse specifically. But we're working right now with the Water Replenishment District as well as our internal staff to really ramp that back up so we can maximize water to the barrier.
Just looking over the things, yeah, because it's in the last handful of months, it went up more significantly, right? Okay, cool. Okay, well, it is what it is, but thank you for that clarification. Let's see. Board members, any other questions on the water sales? Hearing none. Let's see, we're not quite through. You got a couple more, go ahead.
Last item, agenda item 6AD, that's would be the director's conference and travel expenses through June 2024. And then the last item, packet page 146, executive management and staff travel expenses for June 2024. And with that, that concludes the monthly financial reports.
Okay, any questions? Okay, hearing no questions, item 7 is closed session. We have no closed session today. Item 8 is direct comments or future agenda items. So I'll start with Director Williams. Any comments, future agenda items?
No, thank you.
Director Gear.
Thank you.
Director Gray.
Just thank you to staff for the report this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. And I have a comment, maybe it's kind of a comment / question just for scheduling purposes. At some point, we do get some of the community banking partners make presentations, right? I know we changed kind of our rules, but what do you anticipate is the schedule of the next presentation? How many months out?
August.
Yes, we
Yeah,
have
next month.
Malaga Bank, since they are the ones that we have over $1 million, they are the only ones that are required to come in-house, and they are scheduled to come in.
Okay, so it's over $1 million is a requirement. Because we have some that are less, so they're not required. They can come at some point if they'd like, right? Or if we ask them.
Yes.
But Malaga Bank will be here next month. Okay, gotcha. Okay, see, so you answered my question because I knew where somebody's gonna be due to come by and say hello. So, all right, we look forward to that one. With that, I don't have anything else on the finance side. Staff continues to do an excellent job. I'm glad we got through the budget process and we're moving forward. It's already pushing the end of July. So I just want to say thank you. And I already mentioned thanks to Haza and Desiree for processing a number of things for the sponsorships that come through. And so with that, our next meeting is scheduled for August 13th, 2024, and we're adjourned.